Good morning, fellow and future weirdos of the flock. How are you? Come in, come in. Leave your shoes on. Did you take your medicine? I'm going to wait a second because I feel like you're lying to me. So please take your medicine. Good deal. All right. On your way in, stop in the kitchen and grab some keep other people alive juice. There is protein powder, there is a blender, and in the refrigerator there is keep yourself alive juice. There might be extra, I don't know, so get the regular amount right now. If there's any leftovers, split it between y'all. But also keep your shoes on. My carpet's not special and I don't want to smell feet. Perfect, perfect. So, the other day we read chapters 10 and 11. Chapter 10 was Aaron's sons thought they was going to be sweet and show God a different smell. And God killed them and said, I don't want that smell. I want this smell. What did I say? I said, this smell. This good smell. That smell, no bueno. But this smell, yes. So then he killed Aaron's sons. And then Moses was like, Aaron, shut your fucking mouth. And Aaron was like, I shut my fucking mouth. And then Moses was like, Aaron's uncles and whatnot, come take these two away. Aaron's got shit to do. So then it goes, chapter 11 is about meat, what you can and cannot eat, of every kind of thing that may or may not have protein in it, including bugs. So it does say what kind of bugs you can eat, and it also says what kind of bugs you can't eat. But it doesn't say you have to eat the bugs. You gotta eat the meat. Don't eat the bugs. And do not live in the pod. Don't live in the pod. Don't eat the bugs. Fuck what they tell you. Don't fucking do that shit. Everybody should be cutting the cricket flour every time they go to the store. Just cut a bag open. Because we don't need to eat the bugs. We need to eat the meat. But anyway, uh, so chapter 11 was about eating the protein and what you can and cannot eat. And I I don't exactly know why these people were not allowed to eat pork. I said why I'm not eating pork. I'm fucking terrified of worms. But I don't know why these people couldn't eat pork. If anybody knows, feel free. But we are going to pick up on chapter 12 and we're going to learn more about whatever the fuck is going on here. Oh, I know what we're going into. Yeah, we might only get through one chapter. We're only going to get through one chapter. I'm willing to bet it. So, pack this bowl. I got cigarettes, so if you need a cigarette, I got one. And I also have weed, but we don't have a lot. So, pack your bowl. And let's get ready to go to chapter 12. All right, chapter 12. You got everything? All right. Okay. And and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Tell the vampires, if a woman has conceived seed and bore a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of separation, for her infirmity shall she be unclean. Yeah, but why would God give a shit about that, though? See, that's what I'm saying. Why the fuck would God care about that? He made it to where she has to have a baby. See what I'm saying? We're never going to get through this because why would God care? Okay. Well, I guess, walking around bloody, that is definitely unclean. But why would God care about the rest of that? Because these women had babies without epidurals. So I'm pretty sure they weren't moving for like 7 days. So why does this have to be a rule? Okay. Okay. We're just going to say, sure, God cares about this shit. And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. Okay, but this has been a rule since the beginning. So I'm not even going to say anything about it because the circumcision rule has been since the beginning. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 33 days, and she shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come to the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. Yeah, but why would God give a shit? See, somebody was mad at a lady and was like, you know what? She's just dragging blood around all over the place. Why don't we just say she can't come to church? Because we're mad at her and we want to embarrass her. So she's not coming to church because she done made me mad. That's what that feels like. I'm sorry, but I don't know why God would give a shit. Okay. Why is she... Okay. Her purifying. But if she bears a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days, because she had a girl. Listen, why would God care? Mm, mm. But you know what it doesn't say? If God had a non-binary child. Oh well, God doesn't say. If she has a non-binary child, then she is retarded for the rest of her life. It doesn't say that. It says if she has a man child or a maid child. Okay. I'm looking for the part where it says binary child. A child that you don't know what its sex is because it doesn't have a penis or a vagina. But it doesn't say that. So that might not be a thing. Okay. When her days of purifying are fulfilled for a son or a daughter, she shall bring a lamb 1 year old for a burnt offering, a pigeon or turtle dove for a sin offering unto the door of the tabernacle of congregation. So she has to do a sin offering because she got pregnant. See, why does God care? God doesn't care about this. These fat ass priests made this rule because they want extra food. These fat ass motherfuckers. I hope you're fat in your diaper and your bonnet. I swear to God. Well, I promise to God, I hope these people were fat in their little diaper and bonnets looking like newborns. See, I feel God's not going to care about this. Who shall offer it before the Lord? Okay, so the priests are going to offer this before the Lord and make atonement for her. But for what though? See, this is not a God rule. And she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for her who has borne a male or female child. This is not a God rule. And if she's not able to bring a lamb, she shall bring two young pigeons or pigeons or turtle doves, one for the burnt offering, the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make crispy fried chicken. That is not what it says. And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean. Why would God care about this rule? Why? Why? Why does... Why? God wouldn't care about this rule. Why? Okay. Anyway, we are going to pause right here. We actually made it through one chapter. Okay. We're going to pause right here. We're going to get a refill, smoke a cigarette, and feed the outside cats. So, we will be right back. Oh, go pee. All right, chapter 13. So, there's like 27 chapters total. And I'm not even going to try to math how many chapters we have left because we learned in Exodus I cannot math. So, well, I can math for 10 and under. Anything above 10, I'm going to be terrible at. But if there's 27 chapters and chapter 10 would leave us 17 chapters left, and now we're on 13. So 14 chapters, I think. I have no fucking idea what's happening. So I have no idea. Maybe it's 7 chapters left. I don't know. Oh, I hate life. I can't math. But there's 27 chapters, and we're going through 13. So I don't know. Okay, so chapter 13. And the Lord told Moses and Aaron, saying, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh rising a scab, bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh. Hold on. So if a man gets a scab because he cuts himself, or bright spot, so a sunspot. So if the dude gets skin cancer and it looks like a plague. Then he shall be brought to Aaron or unto one of his sons, and the priest shall look at the plague on his skin, and when the hair of the plague is turned white, and the plague is in the sight, be is okay, and the plague is under his skin, it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. So if you get skin cancer, you're kind of fucked. This is a terrible thing. Why is this a rule? Why is this a rule? If you cut yourself and you get a scab or some kind of sunspot, you need to go to the priest and say, I got something, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, you suck, go over there. What is this? Oh my God, what is this? If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in the sight not deeper than the skin, and the hair is not turned white, then the priest shall shut up him that has the plague 7 days. And the priest shall look on him on the 7th day, and if the plague in his sight goes away, and the plague doesn't spread, then the priest shall shut him up 7 more days. So even if it just stays there, then you're still in prison. And the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague in his sight is a stay, and the plague doesn't spread on the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 more days. See, I feel like that this is not a God rule either. I feel like somebody was mad at somebody and just wanted to put him in jail but couldn't, and then saw they had the scabies. And they're like, oh, rash this guy. And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day. And if the plague is somewhat dark, and the plague hasn't spread, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. Oh, no fucking duh. No duh. Am I being too loud? Somebody is mad at somebody for some dumb shit, for real. I don't think this is a God rule. What is it, babe? But a scab is not leprosy. Oh, I'm being too loud. And this microphone might echo me in the house. I don't know. Okay. But you know what? He's playing video games and he says the goddamn it word all the time, really loud all the time. So I'm not taking it back. Okay. But if the scab spread abroad in the skin after he has been seen by the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen by the priest again. And the priest see that, behold, the scab is spreaded. Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy. Oh, so there's more than one kind of leprosy? I never knew that. So, okay. But it really sounds like maybe they're talking about scabies and not leprosy. And you get scabies being extremely fucking dirty for no reason all the time. Well, obviously they had a reason. They weren't very hygienic. So maybe scabies is a leprosy. Okay. When the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought to the priest, and the priest shall see him. And behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it has turned the hair white, and there be and there is a quick raw flesh in the rising, it is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. Okay, so this is somebody's grandpa, somebody's brother who is hiding his leprosy. And if a leprosy breaks out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy covers all the skin, that he has the plague from his head to his feet, wheresoever the priest looks. And the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy has covered all the flesh, he shall pronounce him clean. That had the Okay, so the dude that has this all fleshy leprosy, he's pronounced clean. It is all turned white. He is clean. See, it's somebody's grandpa, somebody's brother. It's like, look, no, he didn't give it to anybody. It's all white. He's a good guy. That's somebody's grandpa. But when raw flesh appears, he shall be unclean, and the priest shall see the raw flesh, and pronounce him to be unclean, for the raw flesh is unclean. It is a leprosy. So, if you get MRSA, you're done for. Okay? Or if the raw flesh turns again and is changed into white, he shall come unto the priest. And so, is this white like the color of ash? Like ashy white? Because I don't know. Okay, so if it turned white again, he will come to the priest, and the priest shall see him. And behold, if the plague be turned into white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean. That has the plague, he is clean. The flesh also, in which even in the skin thereof was a boil, and is healed. In the place of the boil, there is a white rising or bright spot, and somewhat reddish, and is showed to the priest. And when the priest see it, behold, it be in a sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy broken out of the boil. What? Okay. Okay. But if the priest look at it, and behold, there is no white hairs, and if it's not lower than the skin, but somewhat dark, then the priest put him in prison again. And if it spreads all abroad the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague. But if the bright spots stay in its place and doesn't spread, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. But you're going to let it fester for 7 days. You're going to give this guy all kinds of infections. But okay. Or if there be any flesh in the skin whereof there is hot burning, and the quick of the flesh that burns has a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot is turned white, and it is in a sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning, wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. Listen. Okay. But if the priests look on it, and there is no white hair in the bright spot, and it is no lower than the other skin, but somewhat dark, then he's going to get shut up 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it be spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. And it is the plague of leprosy. Yeah, but when they see these boils, why didn't they make them rinse off? Like, rinse off, you devil. Okay. If the bright spots stay in its place and spread not in the skin, but is somewhat dark, it is a rising of the burning, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is a flamentation of the burning. Really? You think so? Make him take a bath. The flesh also, in which, even in the skin thereof, was a boil, is healed. And in the place of the boil there is a white rising or a bright spot, white, somewhat reddish, and it showed to the priest. When the priest see it, and it be a sight lower than the skin, it's the same thing. This is the same thing over and over and over and over. It's all about a boil turning white, white hair. And if there's no white hair, they gotta be put up in jail 7 days. And if it wait, hold on. Wait. But if the priests look on it and there's no white hairs, and it's not lower than the skin, but somewhat dark, and he's shut up 7 days. And it spreads much on the skin. He is unclean. It is a plague, but not a plague of leprosy, just a plague. But if the bright spot stay in a place and doesn't spread, it is a burning boil, and the priest pronounce him clean. This is the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Literally, it's kind of repeating the same thing over and over, but this is a new one. If a man or a woman has a plague upon the head or beard, then the priest shall see it. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it is in a sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then he is unclean. It is a dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. Oh. And if the priest look on the plague, and behold, it's not in a sight deeper than the skin, and there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut him that has the plague 7 days. And in the 7th day the priest shall look upon the plague, and behold, if it doesn't spread, and there's no yellow hair, and the skull is not okay, so if it's not inside your head, then you're shaven. Okay, and if the skull be not in sight deeper than the skin, he is shaven. But the skull he shall not shave, and the priest shall shut him up that has the skull 7 more days. And in the 7th day the priest will look on it, and behold, if it hasn't spread, and if it hasn't gone any deeper, then he is clean. He's going to wash his clothes and be clean. But if it's spread in the skin after his cleansing, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the skull is spread, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. But if the skull in his sight is at a stay, and there is black hair grown up therein, the skull is healed, and he is clean, and the priest will pronounce him clean. If a man or woman has in the skin of their flesh bright spots, even white bright spots. Okay, see, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spots in the skin is a darkish white, it is a freckled spot that grows in the skin, he is clean. You mean brown, right? Maybe not. Who knows? And the man whose hair is fallen off his head, he is bald and clean. And he that has his hair fallen off from the part of his head towards his face, He is forehead bald. I can't. They really think losing hair would make them unclean. See? This is stupid. This is stupid. 27 pages of this shit. Okay, he's forehead bald. Okay. Okay. And if there be in the bald head or bald forehead a white or reddish sore, it is leprosy sprung up on his bald head or his bald forehead. Yeah, this this is a thing that happens. We'll learn about it and it's hilarious. Well, not really, but kinda. Okay. Bald forehead. He is a leprous man. He is unclean, and the priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean, his plague in his head. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, his head bare, and shall put a covering upon his upper lip, and shall cry, unclean, unclean. Put a covering upon his upper lip. Oh my God, this is a mask thing. Look, look. And if the leper in whom the plague is, the clothes shall be rent, and his head bare, and shall put a mask on, and shall cry, unclean, unclean. It doesn't say mask, it says covering upon his upper lip. What is that? All the days wherein the plague shall be in him shall be defiled. So nobody's going to touch him. He is unclean, and he shall dwell alone. Without the camp shall his habitation be. See, somebody was mad at somebody, and they're like, oh, you got a cut on your head. You got to be out of here. Somebody wanted that guy's wife. I don't know. I really don't feel like this God rules. The garment also that the plague or leprosy is in, whether it be a woolen garment, a linen garment, whether it be in the warp or woof of linen or of woolen, whether in a skin or anything made of skin. And if the plague is a greenish or reddish in the garment or the skin, either the wrap or in the woof or anything of skin, it is a plague of leprosy, and shall be showed to the priest. And the priest shall look upon the plague, and shut it up that has the plague 7 days. And he shall look on the plague on the 7th day. If the plague is spread on the garment, either in the warp, woof, or his skin, anything, the plague is a fretting leprosy. It is unclean. I wonder if anybody took their garments and just rubbed it on a priest once. I would have. These guys, this is not a God rule. He shall therefore burn that garment, all the shit, for it is a fretting leprosy, and it shall be burned in the fire. Yeah, I wonder if somebody rubbed a priest with this shit. Like a priest mad at another priest. And if the priest shall look, and behold, the plague is not spread in the garment or any of the shit, then the priest shall command that they wash the thing where the plague is and shut up another 7 days. Okay, so after the 7 days, if the plague has not changed its color and the plague is not spread, it is unclean. You shall burn it in the fire. It is fret inward, whether it be bare within or without. But if a priest look, and the plague is somewhat dark after the washing of it, then he shall send it out of the garment, out of the skin or the wrap, or out of the woof, and it appears still in the garment or all the shit. It is a spreading plague. You shall burn that with fire. And the garment or any of that shit which you wash, if the plague is departed from them, then it shall be washed the second time and be clean. This is the law. Okay, so this is another law. Okay. But I don't know, does any of this seem like it would be a God rule? It seems like Jew rules, people mad at people. Kind of how it goes now. Like the good guys, they get fucked over by a regular person, and they're like, oh yeah, no, we're going to make that a law. So this seems like poor people got this because they couldn't take a bath. So they're like, oh, only poor people get these diseases, so we're going to make it so complicated for them. Yeah, we're going to get all the poor people out of here, and then it's only going to be us left. It'll be great. We can be our own slaves. Do they realize that if they get rid of everybody, they would have to do everything? I wonder. And then they would have to infight with each other. This is nothing but a cannibalistic sideshow. No, mental cannibalism. They're gonna end up eating each other. It's gonna be great to watch because it's coming up where they're gonna start snitching on each other. It's gonna be great, and we're gonna see them self cannibalize. And that's kind of what they're trying to do in this Bible right now. They're trying to get rid of all the people because they think it'll be better. But they don't realize if they get rid of all the people, they're the ones that will have to do it. And it's gonna be some shit. For real. So, I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. I love you. Tell me what you think. Do you think these are actual God rules? Because I don't think God would give a shit about any of this. He just wants to be worshipped. He wants to be asked for help. Like, he wants to help. And these people, they're just making up these rules. Jesus called him the patriarch. He didn't exactly say all these rules were made up, but it's like you can kind of read them and tell these are written specifically for someone they didn't like or someone that was a troublemaker. They would just make shit up like, oh, you got a scab, Yeah, you're going to the infirmary 7 days. But the infirmary is nothing but a brick room with a door. So, there's that. Anyway, I think that was it. Was that it? Yeah, that was it. So keep your head down, your nose clean, your shoes tied. Learn word magic. Don't get ready. Stay ready. Love you. Bye.